Warning, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, a reverse Isekai Chinese strategist, an EDM singer with big dreams, awesome rap battles, and manga news. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. Spiraken Manga Review, episode 522. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're doing well out there and hope you're excited for another fun-filled and awesome podcast brought to you by www.spiraken.com. Some podcasts advancing reviews about connecting enhanced narratives. I'm your host Zan, and I hope you're excited for a fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast, which you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPRAKEN. I guarantee you'll find us one way or the other. If you're watching on YouTube, remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell for notification. And with that in mind, let's actually get to it because I got a lot of news today because I am excited because 1 week to go for that one, that only Otakon. Yes, we have Otakon happening next week. And I got news about when my panels are happening. And more importantly than that, I got a manga review. So let's actually get to that first. So if you remember from that last episode, I spun that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga. And it dictated to be that I'd be reviewing a manga that was written by Yuto Yotsuba and illustrated by Ryo Ogawa. Now, this was published by Kodansha, which originally ran in 2019 to 2020 in one magazine, then shifted over from 2020 to present in another magazine. And that was Weekly Young Magazine. Well, first was Young Magazine Runs, and then Weekly Young Magazine because they changed titles, but I digress. There are currently 14 volumes out. It is a sentence series, and it is a comedy musical series that is known in Japan as Paripi Kongmei. Now, Paripi is the Japanese conjecture of two words, party people. So this is Party People Kongmei. Or as it is known in English, this is Ya Boy Kongming. So, Ya Boy Kongming is a story that is unique, different, and completely crazy. It is an Isekai about Kongming. Now, for those of you who are unaware, Kongming, or Zhenglang, was a Chinese statesman, scholar, strategist, engineer, inventor who actually rivaled Sun Tzu in his intelligence. The crazy part was he was around from 181 to 234, and he was through the end of the Eastern Han Dynasty, and he was around during the mid-Three Kingdoms period of China. If you read the Three Kingdoms, he actually is talked about. And he was a chancellor, he was a regent, he did tons of stuff. He was really important. He was the right-hand man to Liu Bei, who is the emperor at the time in around 234. And he died at the Battle of Wuzhong Plains in 234. And in his deathbed, he wishes he could see peace in this manga. He hopes things are going to go well and life will be beautiful. And he passes away at the ripe old age of 54, which really isn't that old, but yeah, that's how this works. And when he dies, he opens his eyes, and suddenly he's in a place which is loud and bombastic, and there's tons of people that look like demons. There's skeletons, there's succubuses, there's devils all walking around. He has no idea what's going on. Turns out that he got isekai'd to modern-day Shibuya during Halloween. So it is party central, and he has no idea what's going on. And he's like, where am I? I must be in hell. This is crazy. So and according to the history, because of your sins, a demon will possess you and punish you for the sins you've committed. So when these two guys say, oh my god, it's Kongming! That's an awesome Kongming, man! We're going to hang out with you. We're going to get really drunk. More importantly than that, we're going to go clubbing. For him, he thinks, okay, so these demons are here to personally punish me, and they're going to make sure I can't breathe by dunking me underwater, and then they're going to club me. But I guess that's what I deserve because I've had a really crazy life. And they are really just into it. They give him tequila, which is really strong compared to what he used to drink. And he's like, this is what I deserve. And they bring him into a club called the BB Lounge. In the BB Lounge, he is confused and just this music is horrible because they're playing loud EDM music. And then it happens. He hears a voice like an angel, a beautiful voice. He looks up, and on the stage there is a girl dressed up like an Oni with horns, and she is beautiful. And he's like, oh my god, this songstress, I must listen to her more. And he asks for her to personally torture him. And she's like, okay, we don't need to do this. It's kind of weird, but have fun and have a blast. This girl is Eiko Tsukimi, the resident songstress of the BB Lounge, and a girl who has dreams of becoming an amazing singer and to reach the heights of awesomeness by going to one of the biggest events ever and having at least 1 million followers. But right now she has 200 followers. Things aren't going that great for her, and she doesn't have confidence in herself, but she has the passion and she has the vocal range to be an amazing, but no one really gives her the chance. But Kongming is like, oh my god, this girl is wonderful. I will follow this seamstress, this songstress, this demon to where she wants to go. But she doesn't want to deal with that, so he ends up getting really drunk. Those 2 guys show up again. They say, Kongming, you ran away. Let's keep going. And he ends up getting drug around the entire night till the next morning when he discovers, he wakes up and the girl finds him, and he's the only person who ever said he liked her music. So she kind of sees him drunk, alone. He has no money, but she kind of takes him to her apartment to clean him up because he was a nice guy. And he wakes up and he's like, so we're in hell, right? And she's like, no, you're not in hell. It's like, this is Earth. It's now. And he has no idea what's going on. And she thinks he's just a really crazy theater guy who's really into the part of Kongming. And then he looks in the mirror and he sees he's a young man. He's back to how he was young, but it's a reflective surface and doesn't know what that is. Like, what is this? Is this a portal of some sort? He's like, that's a mirror. Oh my god, what's that sound? He looks, that's a humidifier. Oh, what are those things that are moving? That's a clock. So she's getting annoyed at the fact that he is a man out of time, and he ends up becoming his guide in this world. Eiko becomes a person who's going to make him just survive at first, but he gets to hear her 3 more times. First, when he's upset, she sings a song, and he formally introduces himself. He says, hello, my name is, first name is Long, family name is Liang, my courtesy name is Kongming. It's a pleasure to meet you. And she introduced herself as Tsukimi Eiko. And they end up becoming friends. And he decides, after hearing her a couple times, that he is going to dedicate his life to make anything she wants possible. He is going to be her strategist because she has the same energy as the men he has followed in the past. And he could see her words, her songs, moving people, helping them get better and conveying her heart to others. And he's like, I will do whatever you say. I am your strategist. So she's kind of weirded out, but she translates that as he's going to become her tactician and her manager to make things better. And she gets him a job at the BB Lounge where the owner, Kobayashi's first like, who's this weirdo dressed up like Kongming, even though it's really cool. And he quizzes him. And then because the owner is a Three Kingdoms nut, he's a super otaku, they become best friends. And they end up talking about things, and Kongming ends up bringing up his stratagems. And at some points he's like, wait, is this the real Kongming? Nah, he's just my friend who's just crazy. And this is that world. It's Kongming in modern times trying to help this girl become the greatest singer ever using his Chinese stratagems to save the day. And a lot of them work in unique ways. For example, one of them is the stratagem of the hidden pillar maze, which is disorienting your opponent to be lost in a maze, which isn't really a maze, using that to get people kind of trapped in a room to listen to her sing in a big club because she was sent there to be taken care of by another member. Like, we have another singer, she's going to be horrible, people are going to go see me, and it's fine. And Kongming flipped the script on her. Another one is one of my personal favorites, which is the make something from nothing, which is probably the most epic scene, which is they set her up at a club against another singer. And I know I'm spoiling a lot of this, but this manga actually makes me really happy and intrigued, and I want to talk about this more. If I knew more about Kongming, the actual person, I would totally do a panel on this at a con. But this is so cool, because it's just seeing Eiko become an amazing singer. Kongming, besides becoming accustomed to modern era, he is also dealing with everything going on and just showing his smarts. And it doesn't matter if it was years ago. He is able to outsmart most people. And I love that he's able to outsmart them in unique ways. Like there's the event that happened where the turn nothing into something, that happens. And then the rival band's like, what the hell's wrong with you? He's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. It just kind of happened. And you know what? I hear your voice is kind of hoarse. Here's something that we use that was used years ago that would soothe a courier's voice when they had to give a message. And the singer's voice is hoarse because he blew it out. He drinks it and suddenly his voice is amazing. And he's like, oh my God, my voice is amazing, but this doesn't make us even. So it soothed his voice. And that is this story. The art is fantastic. I love the scenes of the clubs. I love the designs of all the characters. Everyone is very different. And it's kind of weird because you would think that most people would hate Kongming because Kongming is a Chinese character in Japan, but they seem cool with it. And the way he is drawn compared to everybody else works out. And it's really funny when you see him dressed incognito in different outfits. Like there's one point where he goes into a club and he's wearing these big glasses that have a sign on it, the ones where the words change on it. It looks ridiculous, but it fits him so much. Or he's in a rapper outfit and just, well, I love this art style. And Eiko is not fan servicey. I mean, she's got some little fan service designs, but she's not overly abundant with boobs hanging out or ass hanging out. There's none of that. It's nice to see something where it's not all about the T and the A. It's a story which is great. And there is not a romantic subplot between Kongming and Eiko, even though her name was based on Kongming's wife. But there's no romantic involvement between the two, at least not yet. And I like that fact that is the case. Like, he's her mentor. He's making sure she's good. And there's nothing going on between them. And even when they introduce another character who is her age, a rapper who ends up helping her out, named Kabitajin, he's not a romantic interest. The romance isn't a part of it. It's just, we're going to have her sing and she's going to do her own thing. She's a character that she could pass the test where it's two girls talking and there's nothing about a relationship. It's just her talking about her music or her goals in life or how her family affects her. And I love that. This is invigorating and different. And the only issue I have with this, there's only one tiny little issue, is the fact that this manga is not released in English. Well, that's not true. It's not released in English. It is not a legitimately released manga in English as a physical media. This was released by Kodansha in the US as an ebook. You can get this on Azuki, you can get this on some of the other sites, but you just can't get it as a physical book, which is a shame because I would buy the hell out of this series. I would buy every single volume of this if I could. It's just, you can't. You got to download and pay for each chapter. And while it was totally worth it because I have the membership anyway, I was kind of surprised that you couldn't get a physical copy. I couldn't even order it through back channels. It just, there is digital copies. It's an ebook. And as an ebook, this is totally worth it. And I love it. I really do. It's unique. It's different. I showed this to Greta. Greta loves it. She thought the characters are great. She thinks it's funny with some of the weird, silly moments because the side story besides the main story, here's the additional bonus chapters, is Kongming trying to get an apartment for under $30 a month. And it's hysterical, him trying to out-scam the realtor and her getting more frustrated. Greta found that hysterical. And I love this manga. I really do. It's one which I have not thought would have been as great as it was. And for that reason, I was going back and forth on this because the fact that the art is great, the style is great, the availability, if you have a computer or a phone, you can read this. That's exceptional. The only bad thing is there is no physical copy. So if I don't have power, my phone isn't working, I won't be able to read this. But otherwise I can read this. And I'm not going to take points away for that, which I usually would. I just think it's well done. So for that reason, I have to give this our highest rating of really, really cool. Read this now. This manga is one of those ones where it's so different and so cool, you gotta love it. After reading this, I watched the anime. The anime is a blast. It's a great adaptation of the first 3 volumes, and it gets to the point where you have the rival band who's her friends show up where she doesn't know they're friends, and they get to that part, and it's well done. It's greatly executed. It's got some great nuances to it, and it makes you want to know more about Kongming and about the 3 kingdoms in general. So I know I'm nerding out about it, but I've got to nerd out because, well, hey, it's a really good manga, and I had a blast reading it. So if you've read Kongming, or if you thought it was, or if you have watched the anime, let me know your thoughts. Email me personally at Zan, that's Xan, at Spiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know your thoughts on if you enjoyed this or not. And with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga releases of the week. And we've got a ton of them this week. A lot. So let's get to it, shall we? We're starting off with You Can Have My Back, Volume 1. Then you have Part 2. Sorry, why is this giving me a little bit of... Then we have Wisteria, Wand and Sword, Volume 5. Why Relina Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion, Volume 4. When Will Ayumu Make His Move, Volume 12. What's Wrong with Secretary Kim, Volume 2. Wandering Witch, The Journey of Elena, Volume 11, the light novel. Undead Unluck, Volume 12, and officially we got our trailer for the series, and it actually looks really good. Then we have Touring After the Apocalypse, Volume 3. Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, Volume 18. The World's Finest Assassin Gets Reincarnated in Another World as an Aristocrat, Volume 7, the light novel. The World After the Fall, Volume 3. The Summer Hikaru Died, Volume 1. The Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest, Volume 13. The Skull Dragon's Precious Daughter, Volume 2. The Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent, light novel, Volume 8. The Reformation of the World is Overseen by a Realist Demon King, Volume 1, the manga. The Misfits of Demon King Academy, Volume 1, light novel. The Giant Snake's Bride, Volume 1. The Great Cleric, Volume 4. The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses, Volume 4. The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt, Hey How About Treason, Volume 10, the light novel. The Evil Secret Society of Cats, Volume 3. The Eminence in Shadow, Volume 7 of the manga. The Devil's a Part-Timer, the official comic anthology. The Boxer, Volume 3. The Beginning After the End, Volume 3, the comic version. Apothecary Diaries, Volume 8. Survival in Another World with My Mistress, light novel, Volume 6. Solo Leveling, Volume 8, the novel. Shy, Volume 3. She Professed Herself Pupil of the Wise Man, Volume 9. Shadow House, Volume 4. Seraph of the End, Volume 27. Secrets of the Silent Witch, Volume 4 of the manga, and then Volume 1 of the manga getting re-released, which is kind of weird. Then we have Saving 80,000 Gold in Another World for My Retirement, Volume 2, the light novel. Saint? Nope, just a monster tamer passing through, Volume 1. Sakebui Bisco, Volume 5, the light novel. Run on Your New Legs, Volume 5. Now this series is, I hope, gets more traction on it because the series is so unique. It's about amputees who become runners, and I would love to see more of this out there because it's just a very positive story in general, in my opinion. But I digress. Going on, we have Record of Ragnarok, Volume 7. Please Put Them On, Takamine-san, Volume 6. Phantom of the Idol, Volume 6. Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time, Volume 10. And then, going back to Phantom of the Idol, then we have Overlord, Volume 16. Our Last Crusader, or The Rise of a New World, Secret File, Volume 1, the light novel. Namikawa-san Won't Take a Licking, Volume 4. My Sister the Cat, Volume 3. My Senpai is Annoying, Volume 10. My Mate is a Feline Gentleman. My Gently Raised Beast, Volume 3. My Dress-Up Darling, Volume 9. Mint Chocolate, Volume 8. Marvel Comics, a Magical Manga Tribute. Magical Explorer, Volume 5, the light novel. Then we have Love of Kill, Volume 12. Lupin the Third, Thick as Thieves, the manga collection 2. This one I am so excited about because it is the second collection of Lupin the Third hardcover. I'm definitely buying this because it's going to have some of the better stories in it. So can't wait to see how this goes. But anyway, digress. Then we have Love and Heart, Volume 8. Looks Are All You Need, Volume 1. Kowloon, Generic Romance, Volume 4. Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, Fantastic Days, the manga. Kaguri Twins, Volume 13. Ishura, Volume 4. In Another World with My Smartphone, Volume 9. Imitation, Volume 1. I Kept Pressing the 100 Million Year button and came out on top, Volume 3 of the manga. Hirano and Kagura, Volume 3. Hinowa ga Crush, Volume 8. High School Prodigies Have It Easy Even in Another World, Volume 13 of the manga. Higehiro, After Being Rejected, I Shaved and Took in a High School Runaway, Volume 4 of the light novel. Goblin Slayer, Volume 12. Final Fantasy Lost Stranger, Volume 9. Fairy Tail 100 Year Quest, Volume 13. Ex-Yakuza and Stray Kitten, Volume 3. Desire Pandora, Volume 4. Death Mount Death Play, Volume 9. Dark Gathering, Volume 2. Coffee Moon, Volume 3. Cheeky Brat, Volume 7. Can't Stop Cursing You, Volume 4. Call the Name of the Night, Volume 2. Bungo Stray Dogs 1, Volume 5. Boys Abyss, Volume 2. Black Butler, Volume 32. Bite Maker, The King's Omega, Volume 8. And for some reason, when I look at this cover, it looks Bite and Maker. The 8 looks like an ampersand. I don't know why. It's kind of driving me crazy, but I digress. Banished from the Hero's Party, I Decided to Live a Quiet Life in the Countryside, Volume 9 of the manga, and Volume 5 of the manga. You have Adam the Beginning, Volume 5. A Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School, Volume 13. And then certainly last and not least, we have A Condition Called Love, Volume 4. So those are the 94 manga releases we had this week, because we had a lot. And out of them, as usual, there's some great ones, there's some bad ones, and I've compiled it to the top 5 I'm most excited about. And the 5 I'm excited about for this week are Coffee Moon, Volume 3, Lupin the Third Collection 2, Thick as Thieves, Marvel Comics, A Manga Tribute, because it looks so cool to see manga versions of all of the comic characters, because there have been so many unique manga versions of them. Just think about Tokusatsu Spider-Man, the alternative version of the Incredible Hulk, Deadpool, the manga, and so many others. And Wolverine Shink. But I digress. Then we had Saint, nope, just a monster tamer passing through, which is an isekai within an isekai within an isekai. And then last but not least, The Summer Hikaru Died, Volume 1. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about this manga. I don't know what it's about, but it's one which should be pretty good to watch, I think. We're going to have to just wait and see. But I digress. So which are the ones you're most excited about? Let me know. Email me, zanspiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken. Or comment below if you're doing it on YouTube. And before we go any further, there's something a little more important we do got to talk about, and it's super important. And what are we talking about? We're talking about my con announcements, and that is the official panels for Spiraken for Otakon 2023. And what do we got? Well, first off, on Friday, July 28th, 2022, next week, at 11:30 a.m., we have the wonderful and amazing 22 Train Manga Recommendations for Grown-Ups. This is a new panel, which is going to be a lot of fun. It was really hard to find most of these because, honestly, a lot of these mangas are not train-friendly at all. But that's 11:30 in Panel Room 2. Next, we had that one, that only, the Insane Manga Challenge, the Train Edition. I've updated some things, and I'm bringing back competition because even though it is really cool to have one person and everyone's watching, it's more fun to have competition between 2 people. Or actually, should I make it 3? What do you think? Email me or leave a comment below if I should do 1, 2, or 3 people in the Insane Manga Challenge for next week. And that's going to be 10 p.m. in Workshop Room 2 on the 28th of July. So that's all I've got for Friday. And then Saturday, we've got at 9 a.m., that's early in the morning, we got in Panel Room 5, the Intro to Manga and Manga Collection. Yes, if you do not know anything about manga, or you want to know more about manga collecting, definitely come check it out. It's going to be a blast and a lot of fun. Then we have At 11:30 a.m. in panel room 6, I'm Not Old. Main characters over 30 years old. And we have tons of these characters represented because, let's be honest, most of the characters that are in mangas are under the age of 20 and they're all teens, and we need some characters who are more old, more educated, more seasoned. And some of those stories are so much more fun, aren't they? Not all of them, but a lot of them are. Just look at Inuyashiki. It's an old man who's a robot who shoots people. And then last and certainly not least, at the end of Saturday at 10:15 p.m. in panel room 1. They only gave me 1 hour this year, so I got to cram a lot of stuff in. We've got Horror in Anime and Manga 2023. And unlike what I did for Anime Boston, I've changed some things up. And now that officially Zom 100 came out, I've got some great clips from that. So we're going to wait and see how that goes. But those are the panels for the convention. So let me know which ones you're going to watch and check out. You got 1 week to go. And I got to admit, I am excited for Oda so much because Oda's a fun convention with a lot of good stuff. And it's the show. It's the show you really want to go to. And it's one which is a blast. So I hope to see you there. And before I forget, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who has been a part of this podcast and been watching and subscribing. You're all amazing. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Every single email I get, every single subscriber, every single comment gives me more motivation to keep doing this. So thank you so much. And if you enjoy what you hear, you can like, subscribe, tell your friends about this. And if you want to support us, create more fun content for you to enjoy, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Spiraken. We have 4 tiers with tons of really cool stuff. We have a bunch of new content which is going up on there at the end of the month. So stay tuned. Let me know your thoughts. And, well, thank you so much. And with that in mind, let's actually get to the part that you have all been waiting for. And what am I talking about? I am talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, accept no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on. What I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin the Wheel of Manga. Whatever number it lands on, that's the manga I'm going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 523. And we have tons of titles on here. Everything from Appare Ranman to Wisteria, Wand, and Sword. So let's spin and see what I'm going to review the next episode, shall I? Number 6. So I'm going to be reviewing River's Edge. So River's Edge is a new manga, or it's josei manga by Kyoko Okaze. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Well, you're going to have to wait till next week, because that is going to be the 26th of June. And more importantly than that, that's going to be 2 days before Otakon. So thank you so much for watching and listening. As usual, hope you had a blast. I'm your host, Zan. I'm Gonzville. Catch you guys next time, and keep reading manga. See you later.